person apart from now.
Have you never been on a podcast together?
I don't believe so.
No, we must have.
Oh, well, you haven't done that many, have you? But
no, but I'm sure we.
I
we
first
not?
so.
Oh, welcome to the sweary show.
We can have fun.
So you can just let it rip. We don't care on this one. So
well, now I can recount a story that I told to the that I told to the marketing team on Friday. I'm not going to
marketing.
do that. Yeah, so I work with I've worked at the uni long enough that I work with their marketing team as a student ambassador, which means basically just a Wait, hold on, we're live now. Which means that I give the student experience.
Are we live?
Yeah, we are now.
Yes, we're live.
Mm.
They won't see.
Yeah, maybe this should. Maybe this should be another time. Tom, what are you doing? You seem to be humping a door. Stop humping doors.
I was letting the cat.
Look at those new. Tom, look at those new doors.
Oh yes, those new doors that I've had for 3 years.
I've even been in your house with those new doors.
But you've been on a podcast with me for the last 3 years, where there's been a door there.
So I'm building a house at the moment, and so I sent Tom a load of pictures from the house and all the lights on because I got excited that I now have lighting in my house and electric. So Tom sends me a picture of his bathroom because I spent far too long in his bathroom originally.
And I've just done it up.
And he's just done it up. And I was like, oh, you've got new doors. He was like, yeah, those have been in for 3 years. I was like, oh. And yeah, observant.
This is what has happened when I go back to my mum's house or whatever. And then, I'll go back because obviously I'm not there a lot now anymore. And they'll have done something and I won't notice it for quite a few trips. And then I'll be like, oh, you've, moved this around or changed this.
Yeah. Things happen when you don't know. You're like, oh, what's that about? Right, come on then.
Yeah. So this one has got far more needy than he ever used to be. This was always the one that used to interrupt, but this one has got all needy as well now. So now they both come and interrupt.
Nice.
So yeah, great. Cool. So should we start the podcast then?
Let's start the podcast.
Don't know what we're going to talk about. We'll just figure out as we go, I guess.
Yeah. Nothing changes.
Yeah, why not?
Oh, piss off. Hate that bit. Starting in progress.
I'm assuming you can hear that, yeah?
That was absolutely brilliant.
So sometimes forget to share the audio.
Can you press record?
Oh no, baby, that was so not right.
Owen's already lost it, and we haven't even started.
Unbelievable stuff. And into each other goes Valtteri Bottas and Sergio Perez.
Bottas took out both Red Bull tires.
And at the back, that's George Russell out of this race. Daniel Ricciardo makes contact there with Kevin Magnussen, and there's a second contact.
The annoying cats are back.
Have you got new headphones as well, Tom?
Well, they're my PlayStation headphones that I've had for a couple of years, but since I got the PlayStation. But no, my other headphones are in my laptop bag, and I couldn't be bothered to go and get them. And actually, these are pretty good because I don't have a cable, so they're.
I've started playing PlayStation, and I'm on Hogwarts Legacy. Oh my god!
Wow, we
Obsessed.
have very different tastes in computer games.
Obsessed. Like I'm up to midnight every night playing it.
Do you play Pokemon Go?
Oh god!
No.
Welcome to
My boy
2016,
did for
Tom.
about 2 minutes. Yeah.
People still play it.
I mean, Pokemon Go was when I was in.
I've never played
UK.
it. I've never played it, but people still play it. I still hear people talking about it.
I mean,
People still play it.
They added features, so they added like raids and stuff, and so there was actually stuff to do rather than just like go around and just yeet Pokeballs at Pokemon. And then they were like, "Wait, hold on, I have it on my phone right now."
Here we go.
Oh.
This is. By the way, everyone, this is a new to the Monkeyseat. This is Owen of Grid Talk fame. So he's joining us today to be our.
You don't have your own podcast, do you, Owen?
No.
No, you're actually one of the hardcore Grid Talkers as opposed to us that
interlopers that come in and steal all the glory.
Apparently, I've not logged in.
Oh no!
Sorry. Not logged in. Okay.
Is it worth me going through? Oh, you know what? Well, I'm just going to do it anyway. You keep going.
Do you know what? This is probably more interesting than the Hungarian Grand Prix anyway.
I
So
thought the Hungarian Grand Prix was okay.
No, it wasn't, Tom. I rewatched it. I rewatched it earlier before coming on the show, and I couldn't tell you a single thing that happened that I couldn't have told you like 24 hours ago.
I'm sorry, you've done prep for the show. You need to get off right now.
yeah, Owen's beating us with more prep on this show.
We don't do prep. My prep is
I
watching
did-
the race.
I did
Yeah.
the exact. Yeah, no. I just thought I'd do it again just to refresh myself.
Well, that's very good behaviour, but yeah, it doesn't normally happen this show. I
I expect it to
idea what
last.
happened.
No.
I have no idea what happened. I have to write notes during the race because I refuse to watch it again because I don't have the patience or the energy to do it.
I used to do my head in, but I used to do it every
No,
time.
Oh,
Yeah. So
Owen's still trying to get into Pokemon
Yeah.
Go there.
I forgot you have to do the first time setup thingy-majig, and it's just like, go away. It's like, welcome back, daily adventure, meet other traders and their themed stickers.
Stickers.
Yeah,
Oh,
I've
dear
got to
God.
accept the terms of service.
make sure you read them. Make sure
Yeah,
you read
Owen's
them.
going to be one of those people that read them all, isn't he?
Oh, wait, hold on. My house is okay. Basically, I live in an apartment building, and apparently, it's historically significant enough to have a Pokestop on it. I think is what it's. I know it's not enabled. God damn it! I've walked 114 kilometers since I last logged in.
And you haven't picked up a single Pokemon.
Yeah, there's you won't be. Sorry if you're listening, but you won't be able to see it really, even on
Oh
this.
yeah,
But like this is oh god, oh no, what are you doing? There we go.
Yeah.
There we go. So this is a Pokestop. I thought no, wait, hold on.
oh, you've got a rocket balloon above it.
Yeah, there's a Team Rocket balloon. So these are people that have been like, and then you have to like liberate the Pokemon or something. I don't know.
Jesus.
But there's actually like stuff to do in the game now.
I've learned something today.
Yeah.
They
You've learned
added-
that you're never going to download Pokemon Go because it's
Yeah.
too erratic.
I
and too
accept in
confusing.
those terms and conditions.
They've added features.
I press buttons. I can't hear anything. Oh, there we go.
They basically what happened was they launched the game with like the bare minimum of features, and then they've added features, and then nobody knew about the added features.
Yeah, because we all got excited within the first 5 minutes, including my 2-year-old son at that point. And then now he's 6 or 7. He's more into Minecraft and Bug Snacks. Oh my god, Bug Snacks.
What are
That
bug
thing.
snacks?
Oh, Bug Snacks is this game where they walk around and they can pick up bugs. You're a bug, and there's snack. No, you're this human thing, and then these bug snacks, which are like hamburgers that look like spiders, and like little packets of seeds that are like leeches and things, and you have to go and collect them all. Oh, Killian's obsessed with it, but it drives me absolutely. It's like Pokemon, but shite, absolute shite.
What was wrong with just sending a plumber through various different castles?
Yeah. That,
Oh
that
no, he
was-
loves that as well.
Oh,
The
okay.
movie was really good though.
Was it? I didn't watch it.
The movie's really good, worth watching it. It's very nostalgic. Very nostalgic, and there's some really cool. The soundtrack is really cool because it's a real send up to a lot of the old school music from the originals and N64 versions and things. Anyway,
Oh wait, Darren in the chat has said that you're about
is there a
you're about as quick and disorganized as the Ferrari engineers with loading up Pokemon.
Well, I was just I mean, we are checking.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
check
Actually,
it.
that is the one thing that stuck out to me on my rewatch was that
Yeah, let's talk about Formula One. Go on.
I was just like, oh god, Ferrari still trying to. Not even trying to call a strategy from anywhere.
Mhm.
So
Oh,
they
no,
went by
Sainz
carrier
was calling
pigeons.
the strategy, wasn't he?
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
switch position Sierra or whatever.
Yeah, once again,
What
no,
the fuck did that mean?
too early for that. Too early for that, he said. But anyway, what did Carl think happened in the Formula One then? Let's go straight to you.
Okay. Return of the Rick. We will talk about that later, I'm sure, because I don't think we talked about it last podcast because it wasn't announced. Anyway, mixed bag of tires at the beginning. Great start for the McLarens. Piastri got very lucky. Zhou, shit start. Just I don't know what happened. Did anyone find out what happened? Anyway, Hamilton also caught napping. Double DNF for the Alpines again. So later on, we found, which I pulled into the future, Ocon flew up and broke his seat. did he go to the medical center? I don't think anyone could really decide whether he went or didn't go. Anyway, signs on softs, great start from start, but Leclerc not letting him pass because he was a stubborn old fool. Lap 6, Alonso on mediums, showing the Aston isn't as great as Perez on hards. That Aston's gone backwards. 5-second penalty for Zhou for just being shit and smashing into everyone and playing pinball or something. Anyway, lap 10, early pit stops started happening. Lap 12, Bottas on hards, and then does the fastest lap. That would be the shock of his life. It's like, oh, here's Bottas from about 6 years ago. Super nervous Perez ends up in second. I'm super nervous. Perez ends up in second. I was predicting the future there at lap 12. Lap 13, signs tires are getting fecked. Lap 14, quite a few slow stops in the first round, and then quite a few fast ones. It was like mad. It was either really shit or really fast. Good stop for Norris, shit stop for Leclerc. Dodgy gun. Not sure that was Ferrari. Everyone started blaming, everyone's like, yeah, Ferrari are being shit. No, that's just a dodgy gun. I don't think you can really help that. And the fact they had the second gun standing by just in case the first gun didn't work suggests they weren't being shit. Anyway, poor Piastri. Poor Piastri. The undercut fecked him for that. So was that McLaren being strategic, or was that just how it happened? What was the story? We'll talk about that. Norris fastest lap on lap 20. Lap 27, Perez fighting his way through, but Russell being Russell and being in the way. Russell in the pints and ends up 14th. Lap for Norris in 14th. All right, nothing happened for fucking ages. Lap 43. Then Perez trying the undercut. 1.9 seconds. Is that the fastest pit of the year? And Piastri in. But this is going to affect Piastri with that slow stop. Lap 46. Leclerc speeding the pit. Oh dear. Oh, Ferrari. Again, can't blame Ferrari on this one. But can he catch a break? He can't catch a drink anyway. Lap 48. Piastri, black and white flags. But was he pushed off? I think he was pushed off. We'll probably talk about that. Bored and annoyed at Perez now. Lap 55. Lap 67. Hamilton fourth, is nearer to Perez in third than he is to Norris in second. So Perez was obviously going backwards there, but supposedly he's still driver of the day. Confusing. Russell has done well. Shh, can't be saying that. Lap 69, a yellow. Oh, that was nothing. But Loganberry. Wow. But autocorrect has turned him into Loganberry. Brilliant. Giving us hope. Actually, would have been a very dull end to the race if it did end up in yellow flags. There we go.
Wow,
and then, yeah, we all know.
See, you said nothing happened. All that happened.
Yeah, but that was a nothing, really. What happened? What happened was Norris fecked his teammate. Zhou fecked everyone else's start. And Ferrari being Ferrari. Perez being sort of fast in a fast car, and Russell being fast in a slightly shitter fast car.
True.
Is that what happened?
Sort of, yeah. But I guess we can just ignore Max Verstappen because once again, win fastest lap, but not pole this time. So at least that's something. Hamilton grabbing that pole position, which just kind of outdriving the car in that situation, I think. But again, the story I think is McLaren, isn't it? It's just another good news story when we were kind of expecting them to be nowhere really. I don't know what you guys think, but I was expecting them to be back in sort of the midfield mire, maybe going for 6th, 7th, that kind of thing.
Yeah, Owain, you can jump in anytime, mate, because this is not grid talk. It's all free for all. Otherwise, I will just carry on talking. That's the problem.
You have to get in quick.
You have to get in. Otherwise, I gave you the opportunity there. That slight opportunity
he
was
gave
where
you
you
a
had to jump
second.
in.
I felt the opening. I was just like, I don't know.
I mean,
No, do it.
Take that opportunity. Be Perez and take that opportunity.
No, I'm going to not be Perez. I'm going to be shit.
Yeah. It's like feeding time with the wolves. You got to get in there or you won't get any food.
Yeah.
Go on then.
So, pregnant. Pause again. Well done. We're doing well here. What was the question? It was too long ago.
It's about McLaren and thinking they were going to be in the midfield mire. Go on, Owain. He's drinking. Go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I thought I don't know. You kind of feel like they'd have some hope, and they would, but I'm not surprised, but I probably should be. I don't know. I think they're probably just taking it as it goes because clearly Aston Martin have just gone off
But
the
it's-
face of a cliff.
But it is quite funny. Like Zach Brown's like, who has anyone noticed his old wife seems to be turning up everywhere? I thought it was
No.
his mother. I thought it was his mother. Like literally, she looks like she's about 70 years old and has had a ton of work done. It's hilarious. Anyway, like
Wow.
mutton dressed up as lamb.
Okay.
She's everywhere. She started appearing. Zach Brown wasn't there for ages, and then suddenly afterwards, he suddenly appears, and so does she. I'm like, where is she? Where are they hiding? Anyway, the McLarens. Zach Brown was saying, "Oh yeah, we're like the second fastest team now," and then, Norris was like, "Yeah, we've done well." He was like really pissed off. But he had a smashing good time, didn't he?
He did
Yeah.
have a smashing good time. Yeah.
God,
Yeah.
and there's absolutely no contrition about it as well. Like he's posting things about. Yeah, it's just like most of it, right? If you go on his Instagram, it's just him going like this for each position he's got, which is something he started doing,
Yeah.
I guess, relatively recently. Someone will probably correct me, but like I think the other thing is, or posting things about repairing smashed pottery and things like that.
with gold, yeah.
Yeah, with gold.
That
Like,
was
That-
savage.
I think if this was Mercedes, weirdly, I think they would literally get the thing and start fixing it with gold and give it back to them just as a running joke type thing. Because that's sort of what Mercedes. If Russell had broken it, I don't know if McLaren are funny enough to do that. To be offering
Old McLaren, yes. Oh, sorry,
Yeah.
old McLaren, no. They're too boring. They'd get them a perfect replica or something that they'd
Yeah.
make. But new McLaren, I don't know. They'll probably just give them a new car or something painted like the Earth.
Yeah. Yeah, they need to do something. I think there needs to be a bit of a viral video going around. But no, McLaren are back, and it's exciting to see. And they shouldn't have done well at this track, and they did. So that was shocking.
I think Lando could have had pole. I think genuinely Max was off his game in qualifying, and I think Lando had the pace for pole, and it was only because he screwed up a little bit in his final sector that Hamilton was able to just pip him.
Although Laura called it at the very beginning that Piastri would actually outrace Norris, and
He didn't.
and he nearly did. He had a very good start. You have to admit, it was very good start.
But the race management from Lando was phenomenal because it was a great start from Piastri to take the position. Obviously, Lando got a bit kind of hung out to dry. And then, you're not just going to, McLaren are not going to let him attack his teammate and lose time. He would identify straight away, that's not going to happen. It would just be like it was in Monza, just bring it home in those positions. So he's then looking after his tyres, doing his race management. And then when they call him in, he's like lightning in lap, lightning out lap. And it's enough to jump Piastri because he's in a position where Hamilton's trying to undercut him. So to protect against the undercut, they give him the first stop and he takes advantage of it. And you saw how far Piastri fell back after that. But I mean, apparently there was some damage on Piastri's car as well. So I think they probably would have let Norris through once they realised that Piastri was losing so much time anyway.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I do think that it was well managed from Lando. And after
was
early
that-
mistake,
Was that strategic, letting him take the first pit? Norris.
Maybe if they
was
knew that
was
they-
that favoritism? Was that favoritism? Is more than
no,
strategic?
that was to avoid the undercut from Hamilton because
don't-
Hamilton was within undercut range and Piastri was further ahead. So they knew that if they brought Lando in first, then he would stay ahead of Hamilton, and then Piastri they could bring in a lap later without any major risk. But the risk was that they didn't expect Lando to close over 2 seconds just on the in lap. That's where the problem was.
Yeah.
I mean, as a team, it's not exactly the worst result in the world. Like, I mean, obviously, it might cause a bit of contention. Maybe they knew that Piastri had damage anyway at that point.
Maybe.
Like,
Yeah,
they'll know. Like, they would see it on the sensors and whatever. They'll know exactly what each driver is doing. So maybe they just thought that was a cleaner way of doing it. But
Well, they said afterwards that that he had damage, which is why Hamilton was able to get past. They didn't say anything about Norris. So I'm guessing that damage happened a bit later in the race.
Yeah. Like Dad's just put on there. He's 33 seconds behind Max McLaren doing well. Yeah, but it's 25 seconds behind your own teammate. Perez doing well. Do you know what I mean? Max is literally in a league of his own, and there's literally no point talking about Max because he's phenomenal, and there's no way of being in a phenomenal car, and there is no way of beating him. Literally none, apart from that car self-destructing and doing what Honda does best, or RB Racing Honda, whatever you want to fucking call it. It's not happening. Do you know what I mean? And that car isn't.
Yeah, and I get his point about 33 seconds behind. Is that genuine? Is that actually any good? And it's like, well, you know, it's you look at the Premier League last year, for example. People were mocking Arsenal at the end for blowing it, but it's like, well, they were still a clear second ahead of everyone else. So like you can only beat the people around you. And yes, McLaren aren't beating Red Bull, but they are beating everyone else around them now.
Sorry, they're beating better. They're quite close to beating a Red Bull, not both Red Bulls.
Yeah, one of them. Yeah,
you know,
that's just a difference in talent.
Yeah, but you can't beat the Red Bulls at the moment without a lot of changes.
I mean, they have to mess up.
No one knows what it is. Huh?
They have to mess up for you to get anywhere close. And Max, it's probably to the point where they're in a comfort zone. So, like Max is not going to do that. Like if he has an off weekend, he's proven that he can win from very, very far back on the grid, and that was with last year's car, which was nowhere near as dominant as this one.
Going back into the past and something we didn't question on this, the qualifying. What do we think about the hard qualifying, medium qualifying, and then soft qualifying? I thought it threw up some really interesting different bits and pieces, and almost meant that it slightly screwed over Williams, because normally Williams throw away a couple of softs to get into Q3. And it was interesting that they obviously couldn't do that this time. And actually the Williamses did do okay. They weren't great, don't get me wrong, but they were okay.
I'm fine with it.
Should this stay?
It didn't really affect my viewing, and it does reduce the amount of tyres that they take around the world. So I've got no problem with it staying. I don't think it spices the show up at all, but I've got nothing against them introducing it. It's you know, if they're introducing it for climate reasons, then you know that all helps. And it doesn't. It's not to detriment to the show. That's the main thing. It's no detriment, so I'm fine with it staying.
It's not elimination qualifying.
Yeah, and it is pretty good, though I do maintain that elimination qualifying could work if they made a few tweaks. But
is elimination qualifying the idea that you do as many laps and just keep doing?
No, the elimination qualifying was what they trialed in 2016, where it was you'd have 10 minutes of the session, or a few minutes of the session, and then after that, one driver got eliminated every 30 seconds or something, and it would just like tick downs. But no one ever knew when they were supposed to be on track. But I genuinely think that the teams wanted that to fail, so they just didn't try. I think it could have been okay. I mean, I still think the current system's better, but I don't think it was the absolute disaster that they made it out to be, because the teams made it fail because they purposely just didn't care. But,
I think in theory, long term, this locking each team into the same tyre compound for each stage of qualifying, should the rules work as they're intended to and gradually bring everyone else back together, it makes it much more about driver performance. In the end, because it locks it down to a lot more about car performance as you go from Q1 into Q2 and 3. Like we saw a lot more mixing up in Q1, and then obviously the sort of natural order showed itself in Q3, which if the cars are more equal.
Sorry, the natural order was Zhou ends up in 5th or wherever he ended up, and Bottas ended up in 8th.
You make a good point. I hadn't considered that.
You know, that's not the natural order of things.
Well, it doesn't matter. They ended up where they should by the end of the race.
I think as with most things, though, I think as with most things, the teams will get better at dealing with it. This is new, and teams are going to make mistakes. They will get used to it, and then it will get better. Like with sprint races,
is this staying?
Is
this now staying?
It's a trial for 3 races this year. I don't know what the third race is, but the first one was supposed to be Imola, but then obviously that got cancelled.
That vanished. So, and then next week we've got the sprint back, haven't we?
Yeah, we got a sprint next weekend, which I'd completely forgotten about. But yeah, that'll be fun on Spa, like 4 laps or whatever it is. Or was it? It's normally how many laps is it?
30%.
44, isn't it? So
44, and it's 30% of a race distance. So what?
Like 12, 13 or something.
Something like that, yeah.
Do you know what? This race felt like it went on for fucking forever. And I think the reason is because it's quite a short lap, this race, but it's quite slow as well. There's lots of slow corners. And
Yeah.
I think that's what really dragged this race out. Like, I don't know if it was a slow race, but like I was sat there and it was like lap 35 and I was like, Jesus Christ, we're not even halfway. We were halfway at that point. You know, I was like, Jesus, I feel like this should be the end by now. And it really lulled quite a lot and slowed down. It was a really lully race in the middle. But then most races are like that.
It's a lot about
Yeah.
average speed.
Yeah. Time wise, it is one of the bigger ones because
Like by
it is-
comparison, Silverstone was like an hour and 20 minutes. This was like an hour
Yeah.
and 40.
Yeah, well, it's a Monza. That's gonna be like it's probably get around Monza in about if there's no safety cars or anything, then Monza will probably be like an hour and 10 or something like that, wouldn't it?
Mm-hmm.
It's
Do we and Bahrain's quite fast as well, isn't it?
fairly, but it's still got some low speed stuff in there.
And what do we think? Do we feel sorry for the Alpines, or were we laughing?
No.
No, it's hilarious.
And I love that they fired the CEO as well, and then
Oh.
suddenly they do that. Like it's like, oh, yeah, he was right. He was right.
It does frustrate me though because like during the commentary they would just talk about the front and then straight away at the back I saw the two Alpines collide and I turned to my wife and I go, oh, the two Alpines have collided, and you see them tumbling down the order and said, yeah, they're not saying it. And then they keep saying, oh, this has happened, that's happened. I said, yeah, and the Alpines have collided. Yeah, and the Alpines have collided. And then just say, oh, and both Alpines are off the back. I wonder what's happened there. It's like, they've collided. Why are you not seeing this? Why is someone not in their ear saying you've missed this huge thing? It took them like 3 laps before they realised they collided.
I've got the answer there. Because it's Alpine and no one gives a flying hoot.
Well, there is that, yeah.
Let's be honest.
They do it so
Like-
often.
Yeah.
Second time.
I mean, this is 2 out of 2. This is 2 out of 2. You know.
I don't know what it is. We thought it was bad in Baku, but like, have you noticed how McLaren's form has increased significantly ever since Alpine's has gone through the floor?
Well, I just said on the on the preview for Spa on Grid Talk a few minutes ago that 3 races ago McLaren were adrift behind Alpine, and well, they were starting to close in on Alpine, and now there's just been this complete turnaround. Now McLaren have got nearly double the points of Alpine. And that's happened in 4 races, realistically, that they've done this huge turnaround. So it's just insane.
But
And
what is this tournament?
George has predicted that McLaren are going to finish 3rd in the championship.
That would mean them jumping Ferrari
And
I can see
Aston.
that.
and Aston.
I can see that. Like,
I can
the-
see-
Yeah,
I
I mean,
see them
Aston's going backwards.
Yeah, I can see them
Aston's
jumping
going backwards.
Aston. I can see them getting ahead of Aston, maybe, but I don't.
I'm not sure about Ferrari.
I think Ferrari got too quick a car, and they will get better. Whereas Aston look like they're in a bit of a slump.
Ferrari. Yeah, the thing is Ferrari being Ferrari, but like Ferrari being Ferrari is them not winning. Ferrari being Ferrari is not them being 20th and 19th. Do you know what I mean?
It's a fundamentally fast car. They're just not
While
doing
the
anything with it.
Alpines- Yeah, I don't think they know how to deal with it. That's the problem. It's like they've bred a monster and they don't know how to control it.
Well,
It's just like they've just let Frankenstein go out and see what happens. Actually, Frankenstein's more the Merc, but you know,
To us,
Frankenstein's
it's-
monster. Sorry, before anyone starts literally
Yeah.
killing me.
I think it's more like that cat that keeps knocking over the plant pot rather than Frankenstein's monster. Personally, but
Yeah. You have to
yeah,
always bring
so-
it back to the cats.
yeah, of course. But no, it's just it's not a
Like-
monster.
The Alpine we just don't care about, do we?
Mm.
That's the thing. And I think, and again, the Hasses did well this year. Well, this year's race. We'll go with that.
Well, they qualified well, but they did what they
Yeah.
always do and just drop back in a race. Was it P14 and P17 in the end?
But I think it is because they've almost over ground affected their car that it just chews up the tires. But on a quick sprint, it doesn't chew up any tires and they can
Yeah,
speed
so-
round there.
They might get some points.
Look at
this
me
weekend.
talking all technical.
I know.
I was going to say, does that mean you're predicting like, a decent result for them out of Spa?
I am. I think they'll do well.
I would. I think they will. Because they're not going to chew it up, are they?
I think that they'll do well in the sprint. Well, I think Hulkenberg will do well in the sprint.
Yeah, but it's Spa, so someone's going to die.
Oh God, no! Come on,
God.
Jesus Christ!
I don't even know if that was on purpose or not.
Oh,
Not that.
right. Okay, we need to move on from that quickly. We do not. We do not endorse children dying in racing cars. That's
No.
a bit.
I
That's
wasn't
dark.
endorsing.
That's dark even
That was
for
dark
us.
humor. That was dark humor, and
That was
I,
almost-
of course, I'm not endorsing anything. But that track is dangerous, and that's what more my point.
They've
What-
made changes to it as well to make it safer.
Yeah,
The problem
but
is-
are they going to work? Sorry, there is a serious thing here of that track is still unsafe in my eyes, and that is more my worry. I know Spa is an unsafe track that's they've moved it out of the rainy season, and it probably will rain this week. If there's any, it's either going to be a scorch or it's going to rain. We'll have forest fires or it's going to rain.
It's
with the climate.
forecast for rain all week, like for the next
Right.
7
So,
days.
and that just makes it undrivable, and we're just going to have a fecking nightmare. Do you know? And it's either going to be an unsafe track again in the rain, or we're going to have George Russell winning a race again. You know, it's one or the other.
Both equally bad.
You
to
know, it both were equally bad.
Just like to point out, Darren in the chat has said that the next tyre trial is at Monza, so that's good to know. And he said that I was playing down McLaren's chances of getting third in the constructors last week. Well, I still am. I don't think they will get third. I think I can see them catching Aston, but Aston won't finish fourth. They'll be fifth. It'll be Ferrari that'll be third. I can't see him. I can't see him getting third.
No. So Danny Rick's back.
Yes, that was what I was going to move on to next. So thanks for reading my mind. Yeah,
right.
I think he did great. I think he did really well.
Unless you're Helmut Marko, who supposedly said, he didn't do that great. And he kept up with Snowden. I was like, what? Yeah, past Snowden.
He was quicker than them
really
all weekend.
confused.
I was going to say, I've kept up with his 9/10 ahead in qualifying, and then 6 positions ahead in the race. Sorry, not 6.
I mean, Helmut Marko being, I don't know. I read that. To be honest, it was one of those Daily Mirror type things. So that take those a pinch of salt. And I actually only read the headline. I didn't actually read the story because it's.
But equally, finishing 2 places ahead of his teammate after being punted into second to last place, or only ahead of the 2 Alpines that are taking each other out on the first lap. So he still ended up and then going long on the mediums in that last stint to come through and then finish ahead of Sonoda. No, I think he did a great job. I think he did show great race management, and for his first race back, considering he hasn't been in a Formula 1 car for 6 months, he's done a really good job there.
But is this first time luck, or is it actually decent pace, and we're going to see a decent driver in a shit car? Do you know what I mean?
I think we're going to see him probably not every race, but I think we're going to see him consistently fighting with Sonoda, ahead of Sonoda, and I reckon both of those drivers will get points in the second half of the season. So I can see Ricciardo finishing ahead of both Nick de Vries and Logan Sargent in the championship.
I'm gutted I haven't got de Vries, because now I have to put my hatred back onto Russell.
In fact, I can see Ricciardo. I will predict Ricciardo will finish P16 in the championship. P16.
So that's why
only doing half the season out of 21 drivers.
I was going to say, currently he's 21st. Currently he's 21st, and even though he outperformed Sonoda.
Yeah, but Sonoda's obviously got 4 points, so he's 21st. But he needs, now was that 13th, he now needs 1/11th place to jump Nick de Vries because of the count back of results. Nick de Vries' best result was a 12th. So with the 13th,
really? Wow.
In fact, he only needs a 12th because Nick de Vries never got a 13th. So if he gets 12th place, he jumps Nick de Vries.
So he's equal to de Vries at the moment.
No, he's de Vries got a 12th. Ricciardo got a 13th. So he needs a 12th to jump de Vries. He needs an 11th to jump Sargent. And he needs like a 7th to jump Magnussen and Sonoda.
Okay. But that's in one race. So he could get a load of 10ths and it'd be grand.
Yeah. So one solid result and he could be back up there. This is how bad it's been with the point spread this year, because you've still got like as high as 14th, Nico Hulkenberg, who's only got 9 points. Now, a freak podium, not saying he's going to get one, but a freak podium. And all of a sudden he's P14 in the championship, having only done
hello, Spa.
Well, yeah, you never know. He's won there before. He won there in 2014. So you never know.
Yeah, freak podium. I mean, that's the home of freak podiums in my mind.
Well, it's either that or you get to Las Vegas, because that would be the most dramatic thing that Formula 1 could do.
Oh, yeah. Do you know, I'm actually looking forward to Las Vegas.
I'm intrigued by it.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's going to be chaos, and I like that.
Well, also, there's my biggest thing is I didn't realize, that sphere thing they've got.
Yeah.
It goes round that. I only realised it because I
Yeah.
was looking at
does
the
it?
game. Yeah. So I mean, right now it's this big eye, which is brilliant because it means that there's a golf course right
Yeah.
near it. Apparently, it's the
Is-
most expensive public access.
Is it Helmut
golf course.
Marko's other eye? Is that what it is? Has he finally
What
found
are they
it?
going to put? What are they going to put on the big globe, or what advertisement or whatever are they going to put on the big globe for the Formula One?
It'll be Qatar
Like,
Airways, and it'll be a
Christmas.
plane flying over it,
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Qatar Airways, 100%.
and it'll be a big
Yeah.
globe and all
Or
that. And like,
or Aramco.
Big orange, a Louis Aramco sign, won't it? Yeah, that could be another one.
Oh, they could do it with. They could do lots of stuff. They could do like. Why have they not done like a goldfish or something like that out of that thing? They've got one
could
big
do.
eye. Make it a goldfish, or like,
Yeah.
sorry, a goldfish bowl.
Like, yeah, I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued by the dead pig and whether it's going to be actually any good as a track.
I think like the thing is the simple tracks generally seem to be pretty good. Like the Sakir Squoval was okay. And
Squoval.
the square oval that was okay. And then Monza is obviously a very simple track. Austria always leads to good racing, and that's a very simple track. So I think it could actually be.
Actually, Baku's quite a simple track. I always enjoy Baku. I know people
Yeah.
don't, but I enjoy Baku.
I don't like racing it on the game. It's
It's too hard going through that castle section.
it's
Fuck
got
that, I hit the
significantly
wall every
better.
time.
It's got
I-
better with their new physics stuff.
Yeah,
with the
but I'm
controller.
just not accurate enough.
Fair.
I can't do a race around there without having to use 50 flashbacks or just retiring on lap one.
That's okay. Neither can the Alpines.
Nice. Oh, dear.
I
Right.
saw Lando driving the Las Vegas track on the game, and it was quite funny because he had no idea where he was going. At one point, he was going the wrong direction. It was like, "Fuck me, how am I going to drive this track?"
Oh, that would have been funny. Right. So, what's next then? Russell, should we have a laugh at Russell next?
Oh,
I mean,
dear
to be
Russell.
fair,
Actually,
he did a really good race.
I know I can't really complain apart from him having he can complain all he fucking wants. All he wants, the fucking cows come home about his team fucking him up in the qualifying. He still did a shit lap. No matter what happened, he didn't have the lap. Fuck off. Stop complaining. Stop whinging.
I mean, no one around him improved either. So I think the problem was just everyone just got in each other's way. But yeah, you are right. He didn't put in the lap, but he wasn't really given the tools to be able to do the lap. I think he does hold some blame, and also he didn't get the banker in either. So it's just one of those things. So yeah, I think he's probably, I would say he's like 30% to blame for it, to be honest, maybe a little bit more. But he had a dynamite recovery though, really good recovery. He was on the same strategy as Perez in a worse car, and he gained more positions than Perez. And when you look at the time difference towards the end there, he actually did a better job than Perez. Whereas Perez, I mean, they say that he'd given up on the fight to Lando, and he was just easing off and just managing the gap to Hamilton. But I do think a couple more laps and Hamilton would have got him.
I'm sorry, given up on the fight. Is he aware he's a Formula One driver?
Well, yeah. Well, that's the thing. He'd given up on Lando, so he was just conserving his tyres to the end to make sure Hamilton would get him as well, which you could say is good race management. But
I could, but I'm not going to.
But you're not going to, no.
No, I think it's a bit piss poor, that. Given up on the fight. Goodness me. Unless that's managerial speak for something else.
What, for Daniel Ricciardo's taking your seat, mate?
Can you imagine? Like, I love that we've gone on to Paris. We're basically, this is the bitching session, isn't it? About the drivers that we hate the most. That's what this.
So anyway,
I
Esteban
don't hate
Ocon.
Perez. I just think for where he is and what he's doing, there are numerous other drivers who would do a better job.
Yeah,
that
same
car.
with Russell.
Yeah.
Playing this.
I'm not convinced on the Russell front. I think he's doing a good job. I just don't particularly like him.
I just think he's just an arrogant prick. But
Yeah,
apart from
yeah.
that, no, he is doing all right, and he's grand. I don't think he's the world champion everyone's saying he is. Like, I question Lando Norris being world champion, but at least, I feel he's got some gumption in there compared to Twatface, who just drives around moaning like a bitch, and actually has lucked himself into a decent car. I still think you put Albon in that car now, and he'll just do just as well.
I agree. I think I've been saying. Oh, sorry. This is about Russell, isn't it?
I don't care. No, sorry. Either
yeah.
Perez or
Yeah.
in Perez or Russell. You put Albon into Albon can either outdrive either of those drivers at the moment. I think he just went in too young, too wild card ish, and now he's actually got some skills.
He also went directly up against Verstappen as well, and I don't think.
Yeah,
I'm not sure Albon's the temperament that can deal with it.
No, but if you put him into the Red Bull, he would be second.
I think
constantly.
I think Albon and Gasly did just as good, if not better, job than Perez. And I think if they'd have been left alone, they would be both doing a better job than Perez is now, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been saying this for years. I don't think, ever since like halfway through 2021, I've been saying Perez isn't doing enough. And I've maintained it throughout with lots of people criticizing me for that. And so
the problem with Perez, he has moments of not brilliance, but moments of.
He's not had one moment of brilliance. Even his win in the Sakir Grand Prix wasn't brilliant.
Yeah, he has moments of luck and charm, and he gets through. Him getting second in Mexico and things. Was it's interesting. Like he does. I wouldn't say he's a shit driver. I just don't think he shouldn't. Like the problem is that cursed Red Bull chair. It's always cursed, and I don't know where else you put Perez now. Possibly back in the Aston.
IndyCar.
It's almost like he similarly profited off the same stuff that Fisichella did back in like 2009 or whatever. When Massa had that time out, and obviously and they brought Fisichella across into Ferrari. Oh right, well back when Massa had that brain injury off the Broad.
Yeah,
Fisichella did a decent job. Yeah, and Fisichella did a decent job at Spa, I want to say. Ferrari brought him in full time, and he was crap.
Yeah.
I don't know who can go into that second seat that's going to be able to either A, match Verstappen, or B, deal with Verstappen and deal with being second best. I don't think there is anyone.
It's probably one of the Twitch. I was going to say it's probably one of the Twitch quartet. I'd call it. Obviously, not including Max.
So Twitch quartet is Verstappen, Albon.
No, that's Verstappen, Russell,
Norris. And was Leclerc in there as well?
Leclerc in there, yeah, I think so. Yeah. Basically, all the people that came up at the same time as Max. Funnily enough, weird how that works.
Yeah, but you had Leclerc come in 1 year, and then you had Russell, Albon, and Norris the next year.
Yeah, I think that like Leclerc in a Red Bull would be interesting. I'd love to see that.
I'll tell you what, I'd pay a lot for is to see Alonso in that Red Bull second seat. I'd like to see how Max would handle him.
But I think it'd be interesting. I think that would be really interesting for Max as well. You need the old time experience to deal with it. You can't put in these young whippersnappers. They're getting chewed up and thrown out alive. That's the problem. And then the Perez, which in theory was a more experienced driver, just can't handle it really either. And also, what needs to happen in Red Bull is Helmut Marko needs to fucking go and do one.
Yeah. I think there's rumours he's leaving at the end of the year. But you know what? It just dawned on me. Do you know what Red Bull need? And this is probably going to go over your head slightly, Carl, but I think you'll appreciate it. What they need is Eddie Irvine. Because Eddie Irvine went into Ferrari knowing that he was going to be number 2 to Schumacher and that he was going to earn a shit ton of money and was going to win the odd race. And that's what he went in with. And then he got a shot at the championship when Schumacher broke his legs. So that's what they need. They need someone who's going to go in. There's not going to be, do you know what? I'm going to take it to Max. And then when Max destroys them, they go, oh, they need someone who goes in there saying, do you know what? I'm going to be second to Max every week at best. And and they need someone to accept that.
But who's going to accept that? Who's genuinely going to accept that?
Somebody with that mentality, basically. So you need someone with that Eddie Irvine Cavalier mentality. So, I mean, looking down the grid, the only one you could possibly maybe someone like Nico Hulkenberg, someone who knows that they just want to get a hatful of podiums before their career whittles out. They know they're never going to win the championship.
No, you go with Bottas.
Oh no, he was broken by Hamilton.
Yeah, but he's been broken before. That's the thing.
But you can't be broken. You have to fully go in with the pragmatism. It's like the Geraint Thomas thing when like over in the cycling. It's like, okay, I'm going to earn a ton of money working for this guy, and every so often it will come out for me. And
But you know what? That might well be. That's why Daniel Ricciardo might be a good option, because Daniel Ricciardo, basically his career was over. He's been, he's dropped out of Formula One. He's had this reprieve, so he may well be the person that they need in that car. So it's, for me, it needs to be a more experienced driver that either needs to be another worldly talent that can take it to Max, which I don't think anyone can at the moment, or somebody like Hülkenberg or Ricciardo. I can't believe I'm talking about Hülkenberg for a Red Bull seat when I don't even want him back in Formula One this time last year. But something like that. You want a driver like that. And looking
Even the K-Mag in there would be interesting. Now he's grown up a bit.
Yeah, but again, I don't think he's got the talent. I mean, clearly Hülkenberg seems to be the better of the two drivers.
They need like enough speed.
So, question, because it's slightly businessy. So Ricciardo was paid by Red Bull to sit there and do sweet fucking tiddly-po, apart from a couple of test drives, yes?
Well, he was paid a lot more by McLaren to not drive this year.
Okay. So
he's still getting paid by both right now.
Well, I think he was getting paid by McLaren to do the 20 million for not racing, and then that probably would have had some money deducted for what Red Bull were paying to him for that. And now that he's got a race drive back,
this is what my question is. I wonder what's happening with the money. Is he just taking 3 paychecks now and just going, well, hang on, I was in Red Bull.
I think what's probably happening is that the payment from McLaren, which was rumored to be like 20 million a year, that is being paid to him minus what he's being paid. So he's probably still getting paid 20 million a year, but it's minus whatever he was getting paid from AlphaTauri.
If I was getting paid 20 million a year to do fuck all, there is no way I'd be wanting to be paid 20 million a year to risk my life.
There is that, but also you're wanting to do it as a career. You're wanting to become a world champion. You're wanting to race in Formula One,
and you get put into an AlphaTauri.
Yeah, but this might be your only chance. There's a genuine chance there that he could push back into that Red Bull fold, and you've got to take that opportunity.
I was gonna say, like, Perez has had a shit few races. Like this has been the best result he's had in a long while, and he's not had the qualifying performance to do it. He's probably soured a bit of the relationship at Red Bull because of that, and Red Bull are notoriously quick on it. And he's probably thinking, well, all I have to do is outperform Tsunoda, outperform him a decent amount. I know I've got the racecraft to do it. I've got that experience. Perez has about next few races, and I have a decent set of races, and then I'm back in the seat.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's
stranger things have happened.
Yeah. I think it genuinely could happen. I think I may have even predicted it in one podcast. I may have said it, and then as soon as I said it, I was like, "Nah, that's never going to happen." It was
probably in a bold prediction a while ago.
I think it probably was. Yeah, that Ricciardo replaces Perez at the end of the year. I think that's before I realised Perez was on a 2-year deal, but that doesn't mean anything, as we know.
That means fuck all. When does silly season start? After this race, isn't it?
It's kind of, it's when things start kicking off. I guess it's kind of already happened, but most people are under contract already, so there's not going to be an awful lot. Haas have said that they're keeping their drivers.
Well, who else would they get, and why would either of them move? They're the right drivers for the right car at the moment.
Colton Herta's not going to get a super license again, so
thanks FIA.
He's not that good though. He's not actually that good. He's quick, but he's not actually that good. He's not got consistency. He makes bad decisions. He's a hothead, and he doesn't look after tyres well. So
who are we talking about? Yuki Tsunoda?
I thought we were talking about a certain Frenchman who went over to IndyCar.
Yes, Mr. Roman.
So should we do driver and dick?
Yeah, okay. Go on then. Oh, and you can start. Who was your driver of the day?
Who did I give it to? I genuinely don't remember.
You can pick someone else.
You know what I will do?
Yeah, there's no.
Oh, you know what, Joe? I'm gonna give him driver of the day just because it was funny that he took out the Alpines. Class.
Oh, nice. Oh, I love that. No, I was thinking what, because he got a bad start.
Yeah, I was really confused.
Have you heard about it? I had a quick Google. They don't know why it went into some kind of limp home. Not even anti-stall. It went into like some kind of fail-safe mode.
So I reckon he just did what I do on the F1 game. It was like, oh shit, I forgot to press the clutch. It's just everyone starts moving.
To press the accelerator.
Yeah, like, oh yeah, I was setting the res, but I forgot to drop the clutch. Whoops, my bad.
Maybe it did just a classic Alfa Romeo thing where it's just like, it's broken.
Yeah. But so driver of the day is somebody who caused a crash on lap 1 and then got a penalty. Cool.
Well done.
Okay.
Right.
No, for the entertainment.
Okay.
I will. I mean, I to be honest, although you don't agree, I think Piastri actually did a very solid race.
I would
didn't do
agree
as well.
if there was damage on the car. If there isn't damage on the car or not substantial damage, then I would disagree. But yeah, he did do well.
Well, he did. They had damage. They were questioning it, didn't they?
Yeah, well, they said that, but they often
Flaws.
say stuff like that.
Yeah,
So,
just to make
but
it
equally, again, he still didn't match his teammate. So
No.
that's yeah.
Go on.
Well, I said George on grid talk, so just for balance, I'm going to go
Ugh.
Lando. I'm going to say Lando, just on balance.
Why would
because
you say George?
I said because of what he did in the race, well managed race. But I'm going to go with Lando because no one else has got him. So
Who's your dicks?
who's the dicks? Dick of the day?
Yeah.
Go on away.
Oh, I don't know.
Doesn't have to be a driver.
Oh, doesn't have to be a driver.
No,
No.
you can go- you can
Dick
go
of the
for-
day. Dick of
I
the
mean,
day
Michael
is-
Massey is the most consistent winner of Dick of the
I
Day.
thought FAA was full stop, or
Yeah.
Well, to be
stewarding.
fair, I did want to
Stewarding
give.
was.
I did want to give the steward who gave what was it? Was it who gave Piastri the what was it? The last warning for being pushed off the track and getting a track limits thing. But I think that was
Yeah.
turn 4.
Yeah, no, it wasn't actually where he went up, where he got pushed off track.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with Lando Norris
What?
Purely
Oh, for breaking
it
the
was-
trophy.
because it was such a dick move, and his reaction
Oh.
was very dick move-ish.
Actually, wait. Can I revise mine instead?
Go on.
Go
Whoever
for it.
made those podiums, so they act like a drum. Like it's not that
I'm
hard
sorry.
to make.
I'm sorry, and whoever made the actual thing out of
Yeah,
porcelain,
Yeah.
and that's cost 40k of porcelain. Fucking hell! What were they thinking?
No, it's like they got the
I'm going to
Weatherspoons
give
flat.
these racing drivers that don't really
It's a
give a shit about them
It's a
smashable
ceremonial.
objects.
It's a ceremonial urn, and it's definitely better
Yeah.
than the plastic piece of shit dildo that they gave Silverstone that one year.
Yes, you don't mess with the Silverstone trophy. It's the nicest trophy there.
No, not the main one. The crap
yeah, I know.
Santander one.
Yes, I know. I hate those as well. I don't know who I'm going to give it to. I'm just looking. I don't think there's any drivers that I can really give it to, unless I give it to Joe for causing the crash. But I don't want to because it was the Alpines. I don't know if I can give it to anyone. I don't. Helmut Marko for not recognizing that Daniel Ricciardo's back. There you go. He's my dick of the day. Sorted. Right.
Very
So the championships. Yeah, Max still winning by country mile. Perez 110 points behind him. Alonso 32 behind him. Hamilton 6 behind him. George Russell 43 behind Hamilton. And then Sainz just 3 points back from George Russell, with Leclerc 7 points back from him. So Sainz is still ahead of Leclerc in the championship. Norris now fought his way up to 8th in the championship there, with 60 points now, just 20 off Leclerc. And the Constructors' Championship, it's getting tight. It's Aston Martin behind Mercedes by 39 points now. Ferrari just 17 points back from them. McLaren a further 80 points back. So it's still a long way to come back from, but I think they certainly, the trajectory is certainly that they could potentially catch Aston Martin. Alpine 47 points. Looks like they're 6th, and that's not going anywhere. So
No.
yeah, Spa next week.
Yay!
Hopefully, it needs a good race. It needs a showcase race. It needs a good race because it's not been the most exciting race the last few years. So it needs a good one.
Which is weird because it's interesting. I mean, to be fair, you can't have a go at 2021, was it?
Yeah, because that was ruined. Just with
Yeah.
the rain. But 2020 wasn't that good. What else was there? There was 22 was okay. It was the whole kind of Alonso Hamilton thing. So yeah, I don't know. It's been a weird one. It needs a good one. So hopefully we can have a good one this week.
But you're right.
Yeah, and then we get a break for a month.
Oh, because we don't have one of those already.
Yeah, second
No.
second
Boring.
mid-season break of the
I think
season.
they've done that.
Or is it?
Yeah.
Or is it 2?
Right.
I can't remember.
Cool. Right, Carl wants to
Lads,
leave.
Love
I can
Island's on.
tell.
Oh,
Cool.
Love Island's on.
Yes, I forget.
Forgive me.
Oh,
It's the
my
last week. It's the
God.
last week.
oh, does
Good.
it matter?
Right, let's cue in the
Right.
music. Enjoy Love Island.
Bye.
They don't even let them drink anymore.
But don't they, oh, the best season was when they were smoking. That was the best season. Like the first couple of seasons when they had the smoking pits, they were amazing.
Yeah, that and 2019 were the last season where they could fully drink uninterrupted.
Oh, yeah. And now they have
I'm
these
ending
cheers.
this podcast now. I hate you both.
Right. Right,
We're
there you
bad
go.
people.
Bye bye.
Cheers,
Oh,
guys. That
dear.
was fun.